Now I'm going to make a model of the building that will be destroyed by the spaceship. We could also download any model from the internet, but it is better to start from scratch, so that the structure is clear and the topology is good. This is important when we want to destroy it. Indeed, we can see the impact of the spaceship here. With a particle system, the building is broken up, and you can see the different faces of the 3D object. So, it helps to have a clean, simple structure so that the model can be broken up in the right way. I made a simple structure with one floor like this. Then, I used the join command to combine the objects into a single mesh, and the array modifier to make copies of the mesh. We can choose how many copies to make, and how far apart the single objects are. But we also need to rotate the objects, and there's no place to set the rotation property in the array modifier. We need to check the object offset property to do that. In this way, the offset is linked to another object, which in this case is an empty object, that is in the middle of the floor. If we now turn the empty object, the array also turns. I also made the building's top, which is a simple structure, with a big sphere attached to one side. I also added a mesh made of wires. The wireframe modifier can be used to make it. You can also change the settings to get the result you want. Then, I added two simple objects that represent the ground where the building is sitting. One more thing I didn't mention before. Before putting the single meshes of the floor together, it is important to add the materials to each part. When we join the objects, each material goes to the right place. So, the final mesh will have a single material made up of many sub-materials. I made this simple gear as well. You can do that by using the add menu command for that. As the last step, we have to import the model of the spaceship. It wasn't something I made from scratch, I got it from Sketchfab. It is free to download and use because it is under a Creative Commons license. The link is in the description of the class. I chose this model not just because it looks good, but also for its simple structure. It is not too complicated, and it is made up of simple parts. This is important because in our animation, I want to destroy the spaceship by breaking it up into its individual parts. So, when choosing a 3D model, you should think about how you will use it in your simulation. You can import the model in FBX format or add the Sketchfab add-on, which lets you import a 3D model directly into Blender. Now we can move on to the next step.